Hello, everyone. Hopefully, your night is going well. So, as you can see in the title, I just had a guy come over my house today. What? What? Fucking plot twist like a motherfucker. Okay, so let me explain. Let me explain. Okay, so as you all know, I was online dating a few months back. Let me put my specs down there. Yeah, I was online dating a few months back, and I've actually stopped online dating for way over a month now. But in that time, I did have like two guys that I was still talking to. One of them I stopped talking to because he he wasn't interested, and neither was I. I feel like we kind of both kept each other around because we were both kind of bored. And then, well, no, I take that back. I think he really liked me. But I pretty much gave him like I pretty much friend zoned him. And he recognized that like right away, so he kind of fell off, which I wasn't mad at all. I did like him though as a friend, but I think he definitely wanted something more. But he couldn't offer me what it was that I wanted from a man. He was. I felt like essentially kind of where I am, but in a different way. Not mentally, but he's still trying to find his way. He wasn't like really stable, and I feel like he kind of built himself up a little bit more than what he actually was. Like he was an engineer, right? But that's not what he's doing right now. It's like, okay, so what do you do now? Oh, I work for the startup. I do like inventory stuff. And I'm like, that's not what you told me before. Okay. Anyway, so that just didn't work out. And then there was this other guy that I would talk to on and off. And we didn't talk for a while. I actually blocked him and the other guy. And it wasn't because of anything that he did. It was just because I was kind of over guys and online dating and all that. I just had a lot of shit going on in my life. So, but I saw that the other guy, this guy that was over here today, he messaged me. So I was like, I think I blocked him probably too soon, just because I was, emotional and shit. So I unblocked him and I started texting him. And we text for a little while, we stop. We text for a little while, we stop. You know how that goes. And then recently we started to text more. And we, wanted to meet up and all that, but his schedule and my schedule is like totally off. But yesterday we got the opportunity to do so. So I was going to like my nephew's football game that day, but he was like, I thought we could meet, have drinks or whatever. Up. Oh, he just messaged me telling me he made it home. He lives really far away from me, by the way. Far by my standards, at least, but far by Houston standards, not really. But anyways, so yeah, he invited me out to drinks, and so I went yesterday. While my nephew was at his football game, I took the car, and I went out to drinks, and it was actually really nice. We talked and we, met up, and I got his vibe, and he got my vibe, and we both decided, neither of us was crazy, and it would be okay. So, yeah, so we met up again. We had drinks. It was really nice. Initially, there was a lot of things that I liked, and there was a lot of things I wasn't really certain of. But again, he's a nice guy. He's just a general nice guy. And so today he was, we were texting all day, and he was like, "Dang, I wish we could meet up again." I'm like, "Well, having issues with my car, haven't not able to get out, and I'm working and stuff like that." He was like, "Well, oh yeah, that's fine. I'm just out in downtown, just chilling, watching this little show thing." I'm like, "Oh," I was like, "Well, you're not that far from me." He's like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "Damn, do I invite this guy over?" It's like, whatever, I'm kind of bored. Why not, see what happens? Not let's see what happens in terms of sex or anything like that. Let's see what happens in terms of, us getting together. So I invited him over, and we've been sitting and talking and chatting and watching comedy shows and stuff like that. And he's gotten really comfortable in my house, and he kind of didn't want to go home. And it wasn't in a bad way. It's because we were like drinking wine and stuff like that. And I know he was sleepy as hell because I'm sleepy as hell too. He's like, dang, I'm gonna have to drive all the way back. And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry, but your ass can't stay here, son. You can't stay here, partner. It's like, dang, I can't just go to sleep here. I'm like, no. No, sir. No, sir. You're getting a little bit too comfortable. And the reason why I'm making this video, because I just wanted to talk out my thoughts. And if you guys have any opinions on this, feel free to comment below. But basically, even though he's a nice guy and overall, I mean, I get good vibes from him in terms of friendship, in terms of relationship. He isn't my guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, have you ever gotten that feeling like this guy is really nice and he's cool? I feel like we have conversations, but he's not my guy. He's somebody's guy. He's somebody's nice guy, but he isn't my nice guy. And the way I test out to see if the guy is my guy, first of all, is initial conversation, initial energy. In the beginning, I think a lot of times I know right off bat whether this guy is my guy or not. But at the risk of being, um, what's the word I want to use? I don't want to be prejudgmental, I want to give the guy a chance. So I just kind of let it ride and see where it goes. But I'm just gonna let you know what it was for me that I felt. One of the first ways I test a guy out to see if he's my guy is how he treats me, and that's just general chivalrous behavior. But more importantly, how does he treat me when we're about to leave from wherever we are, and how does he treat me amongst his own feelings, like his own sexual feelings or desires? Because, when a guy wants you, the guy wants you. But they gotta, hold back on that. And I test how well a guy holds back on wanting to fulfill his sexual desires, right? And and what I mean by that, it's nothing crazy or like the guy's trying to be way too forward, but like, is he touchy? Is he touchy feely? Is he, not so much? Is he respectful? Is he this and that? And this guy was a little touchy feely, like not in a super disrespectful way, but a little more than I kind of wanted to, like I was comfortable with. Like I said, it wasn't, and he's just like touching your leg and like your shoulder, and like, how guys are, they be trying to like sneak and touch like your butt or something like that. And like I said, it's nothing crazy, but just me, like I know me, and I'm like, I'm a little bit old fashioned when it comes to stuff like that. I like when a guy, um, not specifically ask for permission, but when a guy allows you to give him permission. Do you get what I mean? So what I mean by that is when a guy who's really respectful and old fashioned like me, he's going to wait for you to give him permission to see if you're going to allow him to get close to you. And they let you lead with that. So like if we're sitting close, I might put my hand on his leg or on his shoulder or something. Like I'll invite him to touch on me. And it's like, okay, so she's, allowing me, she's touching on me. Okay, I'll put my hand on her arm or my hand on her leg or something like that. So it's like the guy is letting you initiate everything first. I really like that. And when a guy is making his own opportunities, it's just, even though it's the shit that guys do, I don't know. I just like a different breed because there are some guys who just, which I've met before, who wait, like they don't. you know. Like the guy before him that I went on a date with, um, he was like, he actually, like asked, like, can I kiss you? And I'm like, yeah. you know, he like, I like that because they give you the opportunity to um, give them permission and it makes everything more inviting for them, But the smart guys know that too, because like a real woman who is allowed to take the lead in the relationship or even the courting in terms of, what we're going to do next and how fast we're going to go, is most likely going to get the pussy way faster than men who try to be, touchy feely and all that shit. Um, that's just, that's just the way it is. But the next thing that I was gauging for was his energy in terms of, did I want him to leave or stay? I feel like if a guy can wear out his welcome energetically with me, then he's definitely not somebody I want to be in a relationship with. I know that probably sounds crazy to some people, like, oh, that's just super judgmental. But if you think about it, if you really think about it, like, if you're trying to marry someone, you're trying to be with someone for the rest of your life, right? You have to be able to be okay with their energy around you all the time. If I feel like I get tired of your energy at some point, then I'm going to get tired of you. I'm going to get tired of you. Like, you're going to start to get on my nerves. And he kind of was starting to get on my nerves. Not in a bad way, or not in like he was doing anything wrong, but energetically I felt exhausted. I don't want to say exhausted. I just felt energetically tired. Like, okay, you're cool. We're friends. Uh, eh, you know. Um, I don't know how to explain myself, y'all. I don't know how to explain myself. But yeah, I felt like energetically I was getting tired of him. It's like, okay, we have fun. You're leaving? Yeah, it's time for you to go. I don't know. I feel like if I can't get enough of you, then we're gonna be together for a long time. But that's just my feelings. But anyways, he's a really nice guy. I'm debating on whether I want to continue. Like, I want to definitely continue talking to him, but debating on whether I want to um I don't want to say lead him on, because that's not what I want to do, but you get what I mean. Like, am I going to go forward with this guy, like in talking to him seriously or anything like that? Because I can tell already that he really likes me, and that's great. It's a great feeling. It's a great start, but I have to think about myself in the long term. Um, because if I feel like I'll eventually get, I don't say not sick of him, but you get what I mean. Like, if I eventually feel like, like, you're cool, but I just, I kind of like my alone time better. You know, I don't want to, have him taking me out on dates, or because I can tell, like, right now he already wants to, you know, and like we were talking about this really nice lounge in Houston. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with the Foundation Room in Houston. It's downtown Houston. It is beautiful. Okay, even if you don't live in Houston, just Google Foundation Room, Houston, Texas. It is so beautiful on the inside of that place. Like, it looks like it's super fancy and high class. I mean, and it kind of is, but not really. It looks that way, but you find a lot of regular people going in there, especially if there's a uh like a concert in the House of Blues. People come from the concert and go there and just chill out until it closes. But it is really freaking beautiful in there, like all over the place. It is gorgeous, and definitely wouldn't mind going there with someone. But it's like, I don't want, like, even when we were on the date, I don't like to have a guy spend too much money on me right away because I don't want to lead him on like, you know, you bought me something, so we just gonna keep talking. No, this is a preliminary. You're on a probationary period right now. I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you to waste mine. So, and I don't want you to waste too much money on me if I'm not into you. I'm courteous like that. But anyways, overall, I enjoyed his company. But again, I'm not really sure if he's someone I want to keep around. My guy is his energy is very calming. It's very I can't really explain what his energy is like, but I know it. I felt it before. You know what I mean? Like his energy is so peaceful and just so it just meshes well with my energy. And that's the type of person that I don't want to not be around. And it's like if I feel like I can live without you, then I probably shouldn't be with you. And also another thing that I gauge is how much he takes interest in the things that I love. If a guy doesn't take much interest in your interest, even if it's something that he's not interested in, um, he probably won't be that supportive either. I've learned that from the past with guys that I've been with. Guys that didn't take as much interest into my art, i.e. art, or my, meditation or the music that I like like I said, he doesn't have to be into any of that stuff. But if he doesn't find it particularly interesting, or if he just kind of breezes past it, he's probably going to breeze past anything else you want to do in the future. Probably not going to take that much interest in it in the first place. And with him, it was kind of like that. It's like, oh yeah, that's interesting, but anyways. And I don't want to say that and seem like, oh shoot, he's not worshiping the ground that I walk on, so it's something, I shouldn't be with him or I shouldn't talk to him. No, it's not like that. It's just when a guy takes interest into the things that you like, even if it's something that he doesn't, it's just knowing that about you, he'll find that really interesting and want to know more. Or he may like something similar to what it is that you like, and you guys can converse. I think the biggest thing that I really want is I want someone who has some intricacies to them. This guy, he's a little bit above an average guy. You got the average Joe Blow, and then you got something in the middle, and then you got the really spectacular or the really different and unique ones, and then you got the ones who are just completely crazy. You know what I'm talking about. They just too interesting for their own good. They're just like borderline crazy. But and then you got the ones that's like really interesting, but they lack the capacity to care. Like there's this one guy that I was talking to, and honestly I really wish it would have worked out with him because he was super mystical, spiritual. He had a business where he would do spiritual practices, and he was a spiritual practitioner. He did retreats and shit like that, and he was super fucking smart. But he lacked the capacity right now, at least, for really caring for someone because he was so into his own thing, his businesses and the things that he does. And he's so used to him being on his own, and he's so used to only having to think about himself and think about his work and things like that. It's like there's no room for anyone else. And that's really dangerous. You don't want to be with someone like that. You don't want to really even entertain anything like that for long. And like I said, I really wish it would have worked out with him because he did possess an energy that I wanted to know. Like, I felt like we could have had amazing fucking sex together, like spiritual, like spiritually energizing sex. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, he was into all kind of shit. He was even, which I had read on this before, he was talking about using sex as a way to enhance your spiritual experiences, using sex to aid in manifestation. And even, he didn't say witchcraft, but I know he was into some shit like that. And I found that shit super fucking interesting. Like, cause I had thought about that. I had thought about that concept before, like being able to use sex as a form of magic. If you and your partner are in the same mindset that you both want the same thing, as you're having sex, you hold a space for that in your mind, and you not just focus on the sex, but you focus on the feeling that you're getting from the sex and use that feeling to heighten your own magic. Amazing shit. Like, he was into shit like that. I'm like, damn, damn, that would have been fucking amazing. But you know what's funny is that I know him. I'm not talking about know him in this life, but I've known him. I felt like, I know this is going to sound weird, but I feel like I've been married to him before. Don't know why I feel like that, but I feel like I have been. I feel like I was, that we were um extremely ambitious couple, because he's extremely ambitious person, and I feel like I have been in the past, in my past lives, but I'm just, that's not my goal for this life right now, to be extremely ambitious and power hungry and things like that. Like, that was interesting then. Now I'm just, no. No. I'm not, that's not what I want for this life. I really want peace in this life. I feel like this life was meant for peace, meant for spiritual growth, meant for building up of myself. And I feel like this life was meant specifically to be with that one amazing guy. And I don't want nobody else, y'all. I don't want nobody else. I only want that man who makes me feel like air. Like, I being in his presence, there is a strength in his presence. There is a sense of protection. That's another thing. I want to feel protected in my man's presence. I want to feel safe in his presence. And I didn't really feel safe with this guy. Like, not safe in terms of my actual physical safety, like he was going to hurt me or anything like that, but safe spiritually. I want to feel spiritually safe. I want to feel sexually safe. I want to feel emotionally safe. And if I feel like also that I have to leave certain details of my life off first before where you have to get to know me first, kind of thing, then it's not going to work. For instance, like we were talking about spirituality, right? And he was basically talking, I don't remember how we got on the subject. He was talking about church or something. And I think he asked me, do I go to church, or do I, and I said no. And he was like, oh, like, oh shit, it's one of them religious types. I guess, well, he's not super religious. I think it's really mostly his family. Like, I was like, your mother would have a problem with me not going to church. He was like, yeah, she'd probably be like, you need to go to church or something like that. She'd be unsure. But I find that funny because spiritually, he sounds like he just really hasn't found his spiritual holding yet. It's like he's really more holding on to tradition rather than allowing himself to explore his spirituality. So with that being said, I knew instantly I can't talk about any of this. I can't go into detail about it, at least. And he saw my meditation area and things like that, but I didn't go into detail about the things that do and can happen here. You know what I'm saying? Like, with spiritually with me, I have no bias. Whatever feels right to me do. That can range from stuff from Christianity all the way to witchcraft, honey. And if that's what I feel like I want to do, I do that. But I can't tell him that if he's like, you don't go to church, you're not religious. I'm like, no. And I explained to him in a way that he understood, and he was okay with that. But I could tell it's like, I can't bring that part up, at least until he gets to know me. And when I start feeling like that, it's not going to work. With this guy that I know I am to be with is not going to give a damn about any of that stuff, whether he's into it or not. He's going to be all the way for me. You get me? So, anyways, y'all, I'm going to go to bed. Thank you so much for listening. I love y'all. And I hope that y'all have a great day. All right.